No one can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws them, and I will raise them up on the last day. John 6, verse 44, the words of Jesus Christ. Hi, everyone. I'm Nick Latrenta, and I'm continuing my series here, Wrestling with Faith, where I talk about professional wrestlers who are Christians and their stories about how they came to faith in Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. And today I'm going to talk about another one of my favorites, Lex Luger. Lex Luger, real name Lawrence Folt, has worked in NWA/WCW, WWF at the time, and has had a really incredible career, controversial in some ways too. I encourage you to look up his history and some matches and everything. He was one of those guys. He had an incredible physique, a lot of charisma, in my opinion, and accomplished a lot in the pro wrestling world. Maybe he didn't have the best run in WWF as he could have been. We'll talk about that another time. But eventually came to a faith in Jesus Christ. And he's very, very vocal about that. Probably out of all the people that I talked about so far, maybe we'll talk about, except for maybe a couple others, he's one of the most vocal ones about his faith, which is really inspiring. And he has quite a story. And of course, like usual, I have a link to his testimony in the description below. And to give a quick summary of it, basically, again, like I said, this guy was looked like he was chiseled out of stone. He had a great career, said it himself, made a lot of money in wrestling, and got to the lowest of lows in his life, had a lot of addictions, gave into a lot of temptations on the road, kind of dismantled his family because of those sins, things like that, and was actually in prison for a time. And while he was in prison, a chaplain came to him and ministered to him and evangelized to him. And eventually, through that, he came to faith in Jesus Christ. And one of his best friends in real life, if not his best friend, is Sting, Steve Borden, who had come to faith, I think a couple years before him at that point, several years before him, actually. And they had a falling out because of that. Because Lex lost his drinking buddy, his womanizing buddy, and they did not have a good friendship until Lex gave his life to Christ, and they were able to have that friendship and that bond again through that. And then Lex suffered a terrible tragedy. There are other videos out there that go more into this story, but it was something like a spinal injury that basically disabled him. He was unable to walk. He lost all of his muscle, super skinny, very frail. But through that, kept his faith in God. And that's extremely important. Kept his faith, a positive attitude. Check out the interview and the testimony just to see how good of an attitude this man has, despite all of his physical ailments. It's so inspiring. To be very, very frank, it's very convicting for me, who complains about an earache. His attitude, his faith is just awe-inspiring. So, and he's getting better with the help of Diamond Dallas Page. If you guys are familiar with him, he's helping him physically, regain his strength. He's able to walk a little bit now. And do so many other things. He was recently inducted into the Hall of Fame. Another great speech to watch if you're interested. And a very inspiring man. And I'm a big fan of his. And I encourage you to check out his testimony. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to watch this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you so wish. Thank you again, and God bless.